Aussie Jane, over to you.
Our next guest never seems to age, never runs around, and never deserts us. He'll be rickrolling into 2026 with his UK and Ireland reflection tour that kicks off in April and is on sale now. So please welcome a man who's no one-trick pony. He's the ever-slick Rick Astley.
All right, Jane, giving you all the beans there.
What an intro.
Don't think I didn't notice, Jane. Stepping it up, Rick. Hello,
What an
Rick.
intro. Hello, love.
Have you had a year off? Is that where we are now?
I'm in the middle of probably the most down year I've had in terms of like being off. I'm a very up year in terms of enjoying myself. I've done a couple of things, but we've stepped back this year from doing gigs.
You said you were going to do that, and you've sort of done that. Yeah. I mean, you had a little outing in Henley.
Yeah, which was great actually. It
Bit
was
of
really
fun, wasn't it?
beautiful,
That
absolutely
was going
gorgeous.
On there.
Yeah.
What else have you?
I've done a couple of private gigs, which has been fun. I did something down in Cannes for YouTube, which was amazing.
Yeah.
Because it's been 20 years of YouTube, and that's what they were kind of celebrating. And that was a bit odd, actually, because you think 20 years of YouTube, it seems like it's been there forever on the one hand, but it also doesn't seem 20 years,
Yeah.
So,
Did you ever see the first YouTube video?
No.
Oh, you have to have a look at it after the show today.
All right.
It's about 18 seconds long or something like that. And I think the guy, they're still involved in it. And it's him at a zoo. And he's saying who he is and what he likes. And it was a dating video. That's what he put out.
Wow.
And that's how YouTube started.
So did he work for the company or something?
No, it's his idea. YouTube wasn't a thing.
Oh, I didn't know that.
He did it and put it out.
And then somebody...
He had this... He worked out all the software and everything. The platform.
I didn't know that.
And it was a dating site. And have we got it? We've got it. If you want to stick your headphones on. This is just the audio. But it's 19 seconds. This is the first ever YouTube video. Here we go. Hang on a second.
All right, so here we are in front of the elephants. Cool thing about these guys is that they have really, really, really long fronts, and that's cool. And that's pretty much all there is to say.
All right, his name is Jared Cohen, and without that, Mr. Beast wouldn't be Mr. Beast. Isn't that incredible?
It is mad. I mean, that's kind of, I mean, if you think of what YouTube is today,
I know.
Any covers that I have to learn or what have you, I'm straight on YouTube.
Of
I'm
course.
finding a 16-year-old, 14-year-old, whatever, just
any
strumming away.
souffle, any
anything.
carpet that needs cleaning, and you can't get your windows
Absolutely
right.
everything.
Any vacuum cleaner that needs unblocking.
No, you're right.
Any cobweb.
We're showing our age here, Chris. You know what I mean? People don't go on there for cobwebs.
Don't you? I love it, don't you?
No, I do.
I just dive into it.
All my DIY is, you've got to go YouTube first, yeah.
Talking to DIY, we could talk sheds, but let's not talk sheds. You know where I'm going with this? Let's talk log cabins.
Log cabins? Do you mean, are you talking about Denmark? You're talking about? Yeah. No, my wife's from Denmark, obviously, and her family had a little summer house, and it was tiny. It's like a little, retreat, really.
Yeah.
You can walk to the beach from it, but it is in the woods kind of thing. It's really nice. And it's a very typically Danish thing to do, to be honest. I think a lot of people who would have like an apartment in Copenhagen, and that wouldn't necessarily be a big apartment or anything, but the thing was they used to go out at the weekend to like a wood or a beach or whatever. Yeah. Anyway, it just got to the point where it was unrepairable. So we've kind of, this last 18 months, had it knocked down and started again, basically. We've just been up there a couple of weeks ago, and it was really nice. I mean, it does get warm, Denmark. It does get warm, and Lena, she'll swim in anything.
Yeah.
She's been in like the 40 foot in Dublin and all that. She'll swim in anything.
Oh, this is warm.
Yeah, I'm not like that. But it's gorgeous. It's beautiful. And it's like, it's kind of this year for me and for Lena a bit, I think, has been a thing of like, let's take stock. Let's just have a little, see where we are.
Retreat.
And also just, and enjoy, actually go back over the last sort of 10 years, more probably than going back to the 80s even for me, of what's happened and where we are. And also, I think to get myself right to go out and gig again and actually really be in the middle of it, rather than like, oh, we've got another gig to do. Do you know what I mean? Actually really look forward to them and feel like, appreciate it more.
Yeah, because you've been there twice now, and I've been there a couple of times as well, and you learn to appreciate it more, and you learn to like yourself a bit more, and you remember that to give it, you've got to live it, or to, and from a reflections point of view, because your tour is called the Reflection Tour, it's quite interesting, isn't it? Because you can, second time around, you think, oh my goodness me, I'm not going to mess this up again. I'm going to be more present. I'm going to enjoy it. I like it. It's been better to me than I possibly or failed to be able to see.
Yeah.
And I need to make hay while the sun shines. And then somebody taps you on the shoulder who loves you and says, "We've got enough hay now."
Yeah.
Because that's sort of where we are, isn't it?
Yeah, no, definitely, yeah.
We can make some more hay, but we can take a year off. It's fine to take a year off, which is what you've done.
Yeah.
So having zoomed out a little bit, what have you sort of discovered or seen?
Well, I think one of the things, funny enough, I was talking with name drop Ronan Keating the other day because we were doing some stuff
Similar
together.
journey.
So yeah, exactly, yeah. And
great documentary, by the way.
I haven't seen it yet, no, but I really,
amazing.
So many people have told me it's great, so I do need to see that. But we were chatting about a lot of different things, but also just that, and I think seeing his thing as well, and somebody else's, and somebody, people who obviously have, trod a similar path and what have you, it kind of makes me think even more how, you'll use the word lucky, but I know I've worked for it as well, and blah blah and all those other things. But I just see things in other people and think, you know what, I'm kind of there. I've done that. I've had some of those things as well.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes you just have to reflect on it. And I mean, the reflection thing, to be honest, was a bit of a thing anyway, because the photograph that we used for the tour poster is actually me. Obviously, it's me in the poster, but it's me with these massive sunglasses on, which is actually a friend of ours' sunglasses.
Yeah.
And it was in Capri. I've never been to Capri in my life. It was absolutely amazing. Gorgeous.
It's the best place ever.
Oh, my word, gorgeous.
If you win the Euro Millions, go to Capri.
Absolutely gorgeous. And I'd had a couple of rosés at that point, to be honest, so that's why I've got someone else's massive glasses on.
Right.
And when I saw the photograph, we talked it through, and I kind of said, what am I looking at? What am I actually thinking about? And obviously, because I can't see my eyes through it and everything. And I think what I was doing, I was in one of those moments of thinking I'm going to be 60 next year.
Yeah.
I'm in Capri, darling, with some great friends. I've had a wonderful time. We've got, because we knew about the tour, obviously, we've got this amazing bunch of gigs to do next year. It doesn't really get any better. Yeah. And I think I'm doing a bit of that this year. I'm always present of that anyway. I always do have that within me to be able to be grateful and everything. But I think sometimes you've got to have a bit of time off and a bit of distance and go, you are very lucky. I don't care how much talent someone's got and drive and everything, there has to be some luck. There has to be. So that's where I am really.
Well, you make yourself a bigger target for it to hit you, don't you? That's the thing. So the work is make yourself a big target, make yourself available, make yourself present, and hopefully good things will happen. And they don't always, but sometimes they do. And the more work you put in, the more likely that is to happen. So Rick is embarking upon this tour in April. It's not going to be the only gigs he plays next year, but we look at April. We look at April 10th through to 25th, and we're going Glasgow, Newcastle, Belfast, Dublin, Liverpool, Manchester, Leeds, Bournemouth, Cardiff, Nottingham, Birmingham, London. RickAstley.co.uk. April, do you just pick April because it's like new shoots?
I'm not sure, to be honest. I mean, a guy we both know very well who promotes the gigs and everything, Simon, I just trust him, and if he says, look, that's a good moment for you to go out, I'm like, okay, fine, book the dates.
He knows about stuff, doesn't he?
He does, and I think sometimes as well, the routing of those gigs is amazing, and the venues are fantastic, and just everything's right. And I think because we booked it far enough in advance, and obviously, had someone like Simon organising it and everything, it kind of just fits into its perfect.
It's actually, geographically, it's a nice tour, isn't it?
Pretty good, yeah.
Glasgow down to Newcastle, across to Belfast, then Dublin, then back across to Liverpool, Manchester, well, you could walk there.
Exactly.
Leeds, Bournemouth, Cardiff, Nottingham, Birmingham, London. It's as if he planned it
that way.
It's incredible.
No,
well
but
done,
I'm sure.
Simon.
But I'm sure you've spoken to loads of people over the years where they're like, where are you going tomorrow? And then where'd you go the next day? And it's like you're going up and down the country like a yo-yo. And it's like, so that's going to be good. That's great.
All right, and there will be other gigs too. I'm presuming a new album will come out.
Well, we're not focusing on that at the minute. No, I'm going to do a couple of tunes. I'm sort of in the process at the moment of tinkering a little bit.
There's a guitar there if you want to tinker live on the air. It's not tuned.
It's not tuned. I won't be able to do that.
YouTube.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Exactly. YouTube. Yeah. YouTube on YouTube.
What about YouTube?
YouTube. There it is.
Name of the new album.
There it is. YouTube.
Come on, they'd love that,
all right,
wouldn't they?
Okay.
YouTube.
So someone's taking notes here.
Yeah. All that matters is how you spend your time. We've been talking about it today. Ride the Rainbow. That's a nice one today we're talking about.
I like that as well.
Yeah, so there's birth and death. So the beginning of the rainbow, the end of the rainbow.
Okay.
Everybody looks for the treasure trove. No, you're
Just
missing the trick. Ride the Rainbow, Rick.
Yeah, I like it.
That's
Ride
right,
the
your
Rainbow.
Street, isn't it?
I like it. I can see the album cover now.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
I'm going to do.
Rick
rides the Rainbow again. Giddy up. Saddle up, ride your pony.
I haven't even finished my coffee yet. Just calm down.
Sorry, you know what I'm like.
I do know what you're like. Yeah,
I apologise.
It's lovely what you're like, by the way.
Thank you.
That's why
You're
it's
a very
great.
nice man. You're a very nice man.
No, I am going to do a couple of tunes, and hopefully we'll play a couple of new ones. But I'm also, that's part of the thing of using that word reflection. It's like, I know why people come. I'm not daft. They come for the old ones. They come for the ones they know. I must say, we were looking on a Facebook page just recently about what certain people were saying they'd like me to play when the thing was announced a couple of days ago. And it's really interesting sometimes. It takes me by surprise. I'm like, I thought no one cared about that.
Well, give us a sample of what you're talking
about.
about.
Well, I mean, I obviously have to play, and I'm glad to do it. Never going to give you up together forever, those ones, because they're sort of the reason I'm here, you know. But there's certain songs. I did an album with Cry for Help on it. The album's called Free.
It's my favourite album.
And it was my first thing after the Stock Aitken Waterman moment and what have you. And there's just a couple of tunes on there that people have asked for. And I don't know, it's funny. I think what I'd like to do, actually, is maybe even have a little moment where people could sort of vote in, as it were, and say, these are the songs we want you to play. The only problem is, if it becomes a really wonky, weird list, and I can't really do that, do you know what I mean?
Well,
but
you're pretty good at that. The old jukebox, live jukebox, you can do that, can't you?
Yeah, and that's one of the things.
And you've got the band for it as well.
I certainly do. Again, we're going to start rehearsals early, I think. I'd like to get, you
can't wait, can you?
Yeah, well, I to be honest, it's really weird. We've been away a little bit. We're in Denmark, like I say. We've been to Italy on holiday as well. And I must say, when I get home, I pick the guitar up, and I can play, but I'm not a guitarist. Do you know what I mean? And I suddenly think to myself, you've got to do this more often, man, because your fingers start to go a little bit. You know what I mean? It's like, it's a difficult thing to do to play the guitar physically.
The first thing Jules Holland does every morning is play the piano.
Play the piano, interesting. Yeah, you've got to practice, basically, is what I'm saying. So
apparently,
So I need to get back on the rainbow and
ride the rainbow, Rick.
Yeah. All right, okay, we'll go with that.
It's so cool, so cool. I was thinking today about things that we could talk about that we've never talked about before. And you are surrounded by brilliant musicians, aren't you?
Yeah.
And you got good mates. You got Mr. Martin Jr. And all your friends, Mike and everybody else that surrounds you in your band, and your MD, and they're just as good as it gets. And they work for other people as well, don't they?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So some of your band might work for ELO.
All sorts, lots of people. Yeah, I mean,
Take That.
Well, Simon, our drummer, funnily enough, that was one of the things Ronan and I were talking about. He's just done a couple of gigs with Ronan. Bananarama quite often as well, which is like a fun gig. If anybody hasn't seen Bananarama, by the way, just for a little while, go and see them. When the amount of songs hits that they have is unbelievable. It's like it's an embarrassment.
Tell me about it. So when we're booking bands for the various things that we're involved with, you can book a name. Yeah. A current name, great name on the ticket.
Yeah.
Comes to the night, 2 or 3 songs, and we're sort of done.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Then you book another name, like a Bananarama, and people go, oh, that'd be fun.
Yeah.
Maybe not a headline.
Yeah.
And then Bananarama take to the stage, and all the bands after Bananarama going, have you heard how many hits they've got?
Yeah, I know, it's frightening.
The problem, you don't have that problem, but other bands, well-known bands, have that problem with tribute bands. So if we book like 5 bands for a night, and a tribute band comes on first, they got all the songs.
I remember one of the car fests. I remember it like going on after a band like you're describing.
Yeah.
I'm thinking like, well, how do we follow that? They've literally just
Are
paid.
you all right? You got
No. Honestly, it's terrifying. I did a gig in Norway once as well, and it was a festival outside, and an outdoor festival, I should say, and. This band were on, not a name band, what are we? They were like a covers band, they were just getting the audience in the mood and everything. And I was just looking at my band going, what do we do? Because they just like, they played like Bon Jovi, and they played just monster tunes that everyone knows every word and
Bangers.
sings along with. I'm just like, oh dear, But then you just have to turn the PA up a bit, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Make the lights brighter and go for it.
I tell you who's the worst culprit for this, Rick Parfitt Jr.
He's amazing.
Nobody wants to follow Rick Parfitt Jr. anymore.
No, I've been there as well.
He's too good for his own good.
Yeah, no, he's a lovely guy as well.
He's a lovely guy, and he's so good at his job. My gosh. He played Carfest for us on Saturday night. He came off, he was dripping. He weighs nothing anyway, and he came off weighing half of nothing, and there was nothing left of him. He sort of didn't exist. He'd unravelled because he'd given it all, right? And then he gets in his car. I says, you going so early? He says, I've got another gig. Wow. And he drove 143 miles to another gig to do the same thing again.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. No, he's a lovely bloke as well. And he's very, very humble as well.
He's brilliant.
He really is.
And he's got his issues with his dad and all this kind of stuff. And we talk it out and it's all coming out. And we're all shedding weight, aren't we? Shedding skins. And we're all unlayering the onion and getting back to where we all started. It's great, man.
Still riding the rainbow, though.
Riding the rainbow, baby. Riding the rainbow. The brighter the better. What about those double rainbows and triple? What's going on with those guys?
Yeah.
Have you seen a moonbow?
I've never seen a triple. I've seen a double.
Have you seen a moonbow?
No.
Because moons have auras, and they're like rainbows, but they go all the way around, and they're called moonbows.
I've not been looking properly then. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, Scandinavia. How great is stargazing in Scandinavia?
It's pretty good.
Is it as good
I
as
mean,
it
out
gets?
where the summer house is, it's pretty amazing. There's not a lot of light pollution out there because the beach that's there is like just a natural beach. There's in the summertime there's a place that opens up which is like a glamping thing, and it's a restaurant from Copenhagen that goes out there and they put a restaurant on in the evenings.
Terrible.
It is amazing. It's really beautiful, but it's sort of nature.
Yeah.
They don't mess around. They just kind of do what they need to do, and that's it. And then when they're gone, you wouldn't know they'd been there, sort of thing. Do you know what I mean? It's like, it's really beautiful.
So when you're surrounded by all these genius people and you record a new song, right? Or all the songs you've ever recorded in your life, I mean, including the Stockhagen and Waterman ones, but not because when you hear the question, you'll understand why.
Okay.
And you come up with a song, or it's a demo stage, or further on than that, and then you go, right, I need a trusted pair of ears, or a pair of ears that I trust to listen to this. Yeah. So a couple of questions. Take them in any order you like. Whose ears do you go to? Did you go to? Are they still the same ears? Are there a collection of ears that you trust?
There is a collection.
And then give us an example of something that somebody said to you, say, maybe that should be a bit more this and less that you said you took on board and changed.
Yeah, I mean, I've got some very close friends. Obviously, Lena, my wife, my little studio is right next to the kitchen, and I can either close the door or leave it open a little bit.
Which is important
and
decision.
So that's always good. Because
and so if you leave the door open, is she thinking, he wants me to hear this song?
Maybe. I think it's more of just a natural thing that just happens where it's like she'll say maybe even the day after, say, what was the thing with that? What was that one with the little noise and the thing, or that bit you were singing, and I think, well, obviously if she wants to talk about it, something's registered. Okay. So we'll go into that one. But obviously I do actually play her stuff as well properly. And then I've got various friends. I've got a friend called Simon who lives around the corner, and he pops in a lot, which is lovely, by the way. And so I'll usually play him stuff. And then I've got some other friends called Kevin and Jackie who come down and stay at the house sometimes, and we'll have like a listening session when I've got a bunch of stuff together. And Kev's a writer and musician as well and everything. And I guess just like if family are popping in and stuff, but I don't have a great big circle of people. Yeah. And then Dan, who's a guy called Dan Frampton, who's mixed all the records I've made in the last few years, and he comes in engineers and stuff. I trust him because obviously it's also that thing about it's all well and good to be working on your own record in kind of isolation, but you do need someone who sort of says, well, I'm listening to it from a professional point of view, and I've got to mix it later. So those bongos are just going.
The bongos are going. Yeah. Oh my God! There's a bongo alert. Is that?
Yeah, there's an alert for bongos.
Please tell me you got some bongos, and they just hit the bongos, and you go bongo alert.
Bongo alert. Yeah, I could do a little sample of that.
Does Lena ever
actually
close the door?
Oh yeah. Well, also I think because since a lot of people these days are watching things, on an iPad while you're cooking and all the rest of it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
She loves doing that. So it's like sometimes I'm like, I'm giving you diamonds here, darling. What are you on about? And the door will close, and she's like, yeah, whatever. Just got to watch this episode. And
have you taken anything on board from anybody and it's made it to the record?
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely, yeah. And also I think you can get really excited about something. You play it to 5 people and none of them, there's not even a real flicker. Right. And you're like, okay, that's just me then.
Okay.
And sometimes I will bin them, and maybe a different artist wouldn't. But I go, well, if none of them are picking up on that, I've got to relook at that, or just bin it, or save it for the next one and try again when I'm in a different headspace.
So next year you're 60.
Yeah.
Yeah, congratulations. I can't wait because we're the same age. I cannot wait. Apparently, it's amazing.
All right, okay.
Yeah,
That's good to hear.
60s are it, apparently.
Okay, there you go.
Hold on if you want to go faster when you're 70, but apparently the 60s are it. I
Okay.
cannot wait. I mean, you think about, Rod is 81 in January.
Amazing.
Paul McCartney's
Absolutely
already
amazing.
81. Springsteen's
Unbelievable.
78.
Yeah.
Richard Madeley's 69.
Wow, okay.
How the heck did that happen?
No.
Jerry Seinfeld's 72. I could go on, but I won't. You get the
Yeah,
picture here.
I get in the picture, yeah.
And could you have planned the last 10 years? And I don't think we've ever talked about how this renaissance actually happened. Was there a moment? Was there a phone call?
I think, I mean, I certainly couldn't have planned it. I think all it was that I'd done a lot of what I would call retro gigs, like nostalgia gigs. I mean, my gigs are still nostalgia gigs, but anyway, like absolute defined, 6 artists in a big field. You do your hits, whether you've got 3 or 5
like
or
a
10.
rewind
Yeah,
or a
something
Butlins
like that.
Weekender or
I've done
something?
I've done bunches of those,
Right.
loads of them. And
God bless them.
And
by the way.
I was going to say, the pure enjoyment of doing it, because no one expects anything from you.
Yeah.
All they expect is for you to get up and sing your biggest songs, get off and let the next person come up.
Yeah.
And I've done that with loads of people, from Go West, Tony Adley,
Human
ABC,
League,
everybody,
Alison Moyet.
Bananas, everybody, yeah.
Love it.
So loads
Holly
of people.
Johnson.
And really, really something that I think I learned to sort of fall in love with actually just performing again, because there was no pressure. There was no one going like, well, what's the new record like? There isn't one.
Yeah.
I didn't even do many interviews for them.
Right.
You just do one interview and that's it. It's like we're off. And I think just going on stage repeatedly over a few years,
And then you relax.
and I started to feel, well, what would it feel like to do a new song? And I think that one of the main things that made me sort of put my toe in the water, when I opened for Peter Kay like 10 years ago, whenever it was,
wasn't it?
this good friend of mine, who's actually the guy I mentioned before, Dan Frampton, who's the mixer and engineer, his brother is a writer and producer, and they're both really good friends. But I've been friends with Andrew for donkey's years, one of my best friends. And he said to me, "You're doing what?" And I said, "Well, I'm going to open for Peter Kay." He said, "What do you mean you're going to?" I said, "I'm going to go on. I'm going to play for Peter Kay for half an hour before the audience, And he said, and he's like that, Andrew. Anyway, he's got a very good business brain. He kind of worked out how many people I was going to play in front of, even if it was half full kind of thing. He said, "You've got to do a new song." So we wrote a song, and I think that was the turning point of actually being on a stage and playing a new song. And all right, Peter's audience are a very friendly audience, to be fair. And we started in Manchester as well. I did Manchester and London with him. Didn't do all of it because it went on for like 2.5 years or whatever. And I think going out and doing a new song, and Peter made the video for that song as well, which was amazing. It just made me feel like, oh, maybe I should do a bit more of that, and not necessarily be bothered about whether it's a hit, whether it really gets played, whether they just do it for me, if you know what I mean. But you've got to have the moment to do it, because you can't do it at Rewind. You can't really go and sing new songs at Rewind.
Yeah.
That's not what the title is. Rewind.
It's not why David signs you up, is it?
It's not.
Morning, David, by the way.
And I'm all for that. I think
He's a ledge,
it's
by
a
the
great thing to do. It's a great to be in the audience. And I've seen loads of bands that I bought their albums doing those rewinds from the side of the stage and loved every minute, you know. But getting back into doing new music, thinking about it, I think the Peter Kay thing was quite a big thing.
And do you think that when you sang that first new song, did your voice sound different to you than the other songs? Did it come from a different place?
It probably did a little bit, yeah, because I was 30 years older or whatever I was, for one thing.
But even within the same set, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I
bet it did. I bet it sounded a bit different.
The thing is also, I think even the old songs, I probably can't sing them exactly the same way as I did, just because of age. We usually drop them by a semitone anyway, if you know what I mean. Just so, because if I have to go on a tour or what, I've been doing it every night. It's just handy
Take
not
the
to
voice.
it. Some of the songs I still sing in the same key, and I can actually do it. It's just exhausting, and I want to look after it,
Yeah.
But yeah, I think they're just so different. I think they're just miles apart. It's from 1987 or 86 when it was written, I guess. And just the production techniques that Stock Aitken Waterman had, in the way that they really, really hammered you in the vocal booth to get those vocals, And I'm glad they did, by the way. And they probably needed to at that age as well, because I was green as grass. But I think I sing now from a more comfortable place. And so anything I've written, I'm also specifically writing it for me knowing I have to play it live.
Yeah.
And I think the Stock Aitken Waterman guys just said, we're doing a hit. Whether you can ever sing this again, it's immaterial.
It's so funny. Do you know Greta Gerwig, the great writer and film producer? So she did the Barbie movie.
Yeah, of course.
So, so she always wanted to write the Barbie movie. And so the studio took her on to write the Barbie movie. So she started to write this script. And the reason Barbie was such a surprise film from a script point of view and a story point of view, so fantastic, was the fact that Greta Gerwig had the freedom to write a script that she knew she would never have to make. That was somebody else's problem.
Wow.
Right?
Okay.
It turned out that she actually did end up making it.
Yeah.
But then when she was taken on to direct, she thought, oh, God, if I'd known I was going to make it, I would have written a different thing. And that's what you're saying.
Interesting.
You write it for yourself.
Yeah. Slightly different.
That's so
I need to watch that movie again, actually. It sort of popped up on our street when we were looking and stuff. Yeah, I need to watch it again, I think.
Have you written for other people?
I've dabbled at it, but I've never really done it. No, I think it's difficult, I think you to try and get in their shoes is a difficult thing.
And also other people do that and you do this.
Yeah. I think... Yeah, I take my hat off to people who do write songs for other people. But again, as you've just described, they're doing it going, well, I'm not going out singing it. I'm just doing this. This works for you. Yeah, so it works for you. But
that's great, man. So the last 10 years, you deserved every second of them. Congratulations, well done. And by the way, I've witnessed to some of it, and it was wonderful to be in that part, that Rick Astley party. And so we're looking at another 10 years now, more consciously, and so you're sort of paying more attention to what might be. Yeah. And there's the whole thing, isn't it? Arnold Schwarzenegger says there's Plan A and there is no Plan B. There is no Plan B.
Okay.
He's not Scottish, by the way. But and then there's the fail to plan to fail. But the last 10 years have been great, and it was quite organic in a way, wasn't it?
It was. I made a record in my garage that kind of just took off, and I had a great team of people around me to make it take off, but it did,
So are we looking at part 2 and just tend the garden, water the plants?
I definitely, there's certain boxes I still want to tick. I mean, I think I've ticked a lot of the ones I wanted to, definitely, and I've been lucky in that respect, but I think we have conversations like we've been to, for instance, Australia and places like that, and South America and what have you, to do gigs, and partly the travel thing always makes me go, because there's a lot of travel involved.
Me,
like
mate.
It's just
no, seriously, I just don't know how you do it.
Right, and but the gigs and the places sometimes is pretty special and amazing. So there might be a bit of that, but I think. I don't know. I am a bit of a kind of like, well, we'll just see. Yeah. When we get an email that says whatever, then we'll have a look at it and we'll talk about it.
Maybe something's going to happen on this tour then as well.
In terms of what? What do you mean?
You'll go on the tour and you'll have that feeling again, or something will come to you.
Yeah, I mean, I think touring in the UK and Ireland, obviously, it's your backyard and it's what you understand, and just from humour and just all of us listening to the same radio and watching the same things and all the rest of it, it's a very different thing than when you go abroad, because all of a sudden you go, oh yeah, they don't know that song, do they? I thought that might have been a hit here and it wasn't. Yeah. And I have done that at times. I've actually looked in Germany at what singles I had and which ones went where. Right. Because when you're putting a set list together, you don't want that vacant look of like, why are you playing this? Yeah. So,
and then there was the Foo Fighters and all that stuff going on as well. That all happened. I mean, you could not have written it, could you?
No, that was bonkers. That was a 100% bonkers.
Anything else like that? Do you think might happen? I think
that's the nature. I think that is the nature of going to festivals and stuff. I think you just bump into people because your dressing room's next door. Yeah. And sometimes I'm sure they think, well, we won't put them next to them because we know they don't get on, whoever that might be. But generally speaking, you just all muck in and like you end up getting a coffee or a beer or what have you, and you chat and, and obviously I met Blossoms, not at a festival, but it was when the Manchester Arena reopened, and we all ended up in Blessing. We all ended up in Noel Gallagher's room at the end of it, just chatting. So that's how I met those guys. And then I did their podcast, and then before we know what we're doing a secret show that wasn't a secret anymore, at Glastonbury, singing Smith songs,
that all the fun?
Which is bonkers. That's about as mad. If you would have written that down, you'd just say what, but it was for us, it was a gorgeous thing, and it was a beautiful moment. And
Rick Astley backstage at a festival in Noel Gallagher's tent, meeting the Blossoms, singing Smith songs at Glastonbury and smashing it, and everybody loving it. That was not on the cards in 1987, was it?
No, absolutely not.
But it is now, my friend.
Yeah, it is now, and I think that's one of the beautiful things about the way music's gone. I don't think people are quite as you know, when we first got in this sort of world, there was a lot more snobbery, and like rock people did not mix with pop people. You know, let's say the Enemy or whatever paper magazine it was would have murdered anybody who did a Stock Aitken Waterman produced record. They wanted nothing to do with you. Put them on a fire and burn them kind of vibe. And I think now it's changed a bit. And there's still obviously a bit of that, you know, rubbing up against each other doesn't always work. But generally speaking, the festivals that I've been at, some of which have been monster festivals, you know, with massive headline acts and stuff, there's not really that precious thing anymore. People are just kind of like, it's all music. It's either good or bad music, but it's all music. You know?
Are you going to have a 60th bash?
Don't know. I'm going to have to. I'm looking through the window there to see if I can see somebody who may be planning that and try and give like a sort of a.
We shall see.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm not. I had a really big birthday on my 30th, really big, and we had a dress up 70s. And that was really, really good fun. And we've laughed about that night so many times. A couple of people came so well dressed up and everything and all the rest of it that I didn't recognise them. Right. Stood right next to somebody and then kind of went, oh my God, that's you, Dave. You know, it was pretty weird. And it was great. It was amazing. Danced till 4 and all the rest of it. And we've had a few parties, but we've never beaten that one. So maybe 30 years on, maybe we need to. Maybe we need to push the boat out.
Party there. What date is your birthday?
It's 6th of February.
6th of February.
And our daughter is the 5th. So that's obviously now for quite a long time. She's 33 now. So that's been quite a thing of like, not that my birthday doesn't matter and she doesn't treat it like that. And we've had some amazing ones. We had one in the Florida Keys once, in Miami and the Florida Keys, because we kind of celebrate together, obviously. And that was really nice to do that. So maybe we'll do something in Denmark. I don't know. We'll see.
My mate my mate went to a Saltburn party on Saturday night.
Oh, wow. Oh, okay.
and he's been sober for 33 years.
Oh, wow.
And he's, by the way, I can happily say that 4 days on from that party, he remains clean and sober for 33 years. But I think he was the only one that was.
Right, okay. All right, fair enough.
Sounded fun.
Yeah, I'll bet.
Saltburn, bring it on.
Yeah.
Rick, great to see you, man.
And you, love.
Rick Astley, The Reflection Tour. I hope you enjoyed, mate. If you watched that interview live, I hope you enjoyed it. rickastley.co.uk. So this is the arena tour. There will be festivals, there'll be other live dates, and we'll see what the next 10 years bring, shall we?
Yeah.
Perfect. Let's hear it for Rick Astley, everyone.